This game and the streaming broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the North Catholic Sports Network audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL is prohibited.
Trib Live High School Sports Network is the official video and audio streaming partner of the WPIAL. We broadcast over 2,000 sporting events each year and cover 17 sports in over 170 schools. At HSSN, you'll find the latest in high school sports news, live and archive broadcasts, scores, standings, and much more. Trib Live High School Sports Network, your high school sports leader. All season, every season.
And we are broadcasting to you live from Lieutenant J.C. Stone Field for this non-conference rivalry matchup between the Avonworth Antelopes and your North Catholic Trojans. Avonworth comes into this matchup 6-1 with a perfect 4-0 record in the 3A Western Hills Conference. And they are hungry to avenge their playoff semifinal loss to North last year, 7-0, in which North sent North to the WPIAL Championship. North enters this contest 2-1 in their last three and 4-3 overall, with in all likelihood clinching a playoff spot last week in an overtime thriller against Hampton, which saw North starting quarterback Jason Sickett knocked out of the game with a head injury. And he will also not play tonight. Transfer junior Caden Sarver stepped up to deliver the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime, and he will start tonight. Hello, welcome everyone inside Lieutenant J.C. Stonefield. My name is Alex Brown, alongside Ryan Barry and Sean Malone up here in the booth, and Callie Martis on the sidelines. Tonight is also senior night for the 32 North Catholic football players, band members, and cheerleaders who are being honored tonight, as they were just recognized a few minutes ago. But Ryan, at its heart, tonight is another football game. And this one is a fierce one, as both teams have zero liking for each other. And after all the rough games they played against each other recently. So what do you think it's going to take for either team to get the advantage early in this one?
Well, as you mentioned, Alex, it's a rivalry game. These schools play in so many sports. We just saw the soccer game right before this. This game was 7-0 last year in the semifinals of the WPIALs. So this one's going to be a battle. It's going to come down to which team can control the ball better and doesn't turn it over, doesn't make the mistakes. This one's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a battle, and it is going to be a fun one to watch.
North Catholic with a big win last week, as I mentioned in the opening.
Yep, one step closer to clinching the playoffs.
And they played two more section games after this game here tonight against Avonworth. And this game for either teams, in terms of record, in terms of seeding, it doesn't matter. But this is all for pride. This is all playing to win. You play to win the game, and that's exactly what both teams are looking to do tonight. And Avonworth in particular is coming into this game angry. They were robbed of the opportunity to go to Heinz Field last year, in which North beat them in the semifinal to go on to Heinz Field to play Central Valley. Regardless of the outcome of that game, they made it to Heinz Field. Avonworth didn't. This year and this game has to be an attempt for Avonworth to salvage anything that they lost last year.
Yeah, and they're having a great year. 6-1 overall, 4-0 in conference. The lone loss coming to one of the best teams at 4A, Central Valley, who won Class 3A last year. So it's going to be a battle. It was a battle last year. It's going to be a battle this year. Avonworth is a good team, so they're going to put up a great fight. I'm sure they got some fire in their bellies coming into this one.
Absolutely. As the captains head to the field now, as they will do the coin toss now, Avonworth 208 points for on this year. That means they're averaging about 30 points per game, giving up about 11 per game. North Catholic this year is averaging only 18 points per game,
and giving up 18. So they're exactly the same, points for and points against at 130. And that's indicative of their record only being 4-3. As they definitely were roughed up in a couple of games, namely to Aliquippa, in which they were shut out in that contest.
I believe they're still waiting to play that full first game on, like,
You're right.
I guess, good game on both sides of the ball consistently.
They haven't played a good 48 minutes complete.
Last week I said they needed to play good on both sides of the ball to win. And they didn't. They didn't play well on offense. They turned it over, and I think they're going to be ready for tonight. I think it's going to be a better offensive night for North. Let's see, maybe Caden Sarver provides a spark if he does indeed start. Caden Sarver threw a great touchdown pass in overtime last week against Hampton.
Gavin Camity over the middle for the touchdown. And then North Catholic defense shut down Hampton on their overtime possession, giving North the victory.
North Catholic's defense, though, has been very, very good this year as a whole.
And North Catholic is going to be set to receive this one. If you have a player to do you have a player to watch tonight, Ryan?
There's a lot of them, but I mean, you got to look to the best player on offense, and that's Jack Fennell.
I'm going to say tonight, look out for Brady O'Hara.
If you want to give me a senior, or if you want me to give you a senior on senior
senior
night, I'd say I think Julian King is going to have a
Julian
big
King,
night on
that's a good
defense. He was good last week. I think he's going to have a big sack in this one. He's going to have some tackles for loss, and he's always getting in the face of the quarterback. So you ready for kickoff here?
I'm going to say my senior, I'm going to say Seamus Straub. As you'll see him a lot tonight. There's the kick. We are underway. Luke Hilliard with the kick. In the back is Jack Fennell. Jack Fennell up the near sideline, crosses the 20, out of bounds at about the 25. Maybe the 26, that's where they'll put him. And that's where North Catholic will start. Great crowd for both teams here tonight. Senior night for North Catholic. Caden Sarver, the starting quarterback for the Trojans. Sarver drops back, tosses it off. That's carried for about 4, and that is Jack Fennell on the carry.
Outside runs this year for North have had the potential to be really electric, and so no surprise to go into that early. They've broken off some big runs, especially Jack Fennell on some of those outside runs because of his speed and some really good blocking on the outside.
Talking to Oliver Gibson this morning, he said Coach Baylog tells them the first couple plays they're going to do just prior to kickoff before they get going, so they know what they're going to be doing for the first, let's say, first 3 downs. So let's see how they execute it here, and that's not a good one. And the ball comes out. He was not down. North fumbles it, and Avonworth is going to get the ball at the 32-yard line.
And that is not the start you wanted from North, but that's the dream start for Avonworth, man.
That was not in the script.
That was not. Well, defense has come up strong all year. Is going to be forced to try to get a stop early on in this one.
Quarterback number 9, Nathan Harper, steps up. Handoff. That's taken by Luke Hilliard. And he's driven backwards.
Seamus Straub looks like he wrapped him up.
Loss of 2 on the play. Look how tall the wide receivers here on the near side. Look at Austin John Core, number 7. He's facing us right now. He's the far one here towards us, and he's a big man. That's all to say he is here. 6'8". That's a run up the middle to about the 28-yard line for a gain of 6.
Quarterback for Avonworth, Harper, is a senior. He's thrown 86 passes this year, completed 54 of them for 729 yards.
Luke Hilliard with the 6-yard carry. Brings up about 3rd and 6. We'll call it 3rd and a long 5. Harper, they all look back to the sideline almost in unison. Harper, hand off to Hilliard. And he's going to be right up against the marker.
Looks to be just short of the first down. Yeah, it will be 4th and 1, maybe even 4th and inches.
They're going to say first down. The referee went over, looked at it, marked it a first down.
Are you sure? They didn't move the sticks.
They're going to move them now.
No,
it's definitely a first down. Took a little bit for the chain gang to get going. And now here we go. 1st and 10 from the 27. Whistle sounds. Timeout, Avonworth. Call a timeout here in your first drive.
I think it was a little confusing because they thought it was going to be a 4th and 1 because
I think so.
Because the marker still said 4th. The chains hadn't moved. So they may have had to switch up their play call. Just ran out of time.
Battle of the bands tonight as both bands are going at the same time. Between us up here in the press box. About 3.5 hours ago, Ryan, we were here for the start of the girls' soccer game in which the Trojanettes defeated Avonworth 2-0 to win the section. As they were a perfect 11-0 in conference. That's the second time they've beaten them this year. Harper drops back, throws one deep. He's got a man. Touchdown. Wide open was number 10, Luke Neely.
He had the speed advantage there. Caden Sarver, the linebacker, was in coverage there. Whenever you have one of the fastest receivers matched up against a linebacker, it's usually not going to end well for the defending team. And burst of speed, got behind Sarver, and a great throw right on the money for a touchdown. Avonworth, pending the extra point, could be up 7-0.
27-yard touchdown pass. And the extra point is good. And a great first drive for Avonworth.
Avonworth is averaging 113 passing yards per game this year. North Catholic is only averaging 44.
Whoa. And both teams are not good in the first quarter. Right, both teams are averaging 2 points in the first quarter this year, which is really interesting. North Catholic's best quarter this year has been the second quarter, in which they've averaged 12 points per quarter. Avonworth's best quarter is Avonworth's best quarter is the second quarter. They're averaging 12 points for that quarter. And North's best quarter is the third quarter, in which they're averaging about a touchdown.
The North Catholic's defense has been stellar this year. The offense is still trying to get into a better rhythm.
Yeah.
At times they've looked good, but with injuries, especially with starter quarterback Jason Sickett getting hurt, they've been trying to find a rhythm, just unable to do so consistently. They found a lot of success with Jack Fennell, though.
And even though he fumbled it on the first drive, you got to give it right back to him. You got to give it right back to him. Look at that kick.
Onside kick,
and
they got
Avonworth
it.
recovers. My goodness, they caught North napping. And Avonworth has the ball on the 50-yard line.
Wow.
My goodness.
You think they weren't excited to play this game, Alex?
Wow.
They were ready.
And North
they want to win
they're
this
in a
one.
daze. Body language early from North looks terrible.
Avonworth getting ready for this one. They were pumped for this one. They're getting knocked out in the semifinals last year. They're coming out hungry.
North, you can't get down here. You cannot put yourself down by 2 touchdowns.
You got to make a stand
early.
defensively. Help your offense out.
That'll be a handoff to Hilliard. Stiff arm, goes to the outside, down at about the 47 after a gain of 3. Chase Arrington with the tackle. I don't know why they don't throw it to John Core already. Who's right in front of us here, number 7. That's the first guy you see in white. And he's looking at the sideline right now. He's 6'8". No one can defend a man that's tall.
Going up against Jack Fennell.
And they run it again here with Hilliard, and it works enough for a first down. From the 47 to the 38. A gain of 9 and a first down.
You got to try to stem the momentum. You got to try to make a big play here. If you're North Catholic, a tackle for loss, a sack. Something positive.
Offensive coordinator gives in the signal. Handoff. Up the middle, no gain. Maybe a yard if they're generous. Julian King was there, as was Brady O'Hara for the tackle.
Luke Hilliard has 116 carries here for 776 yards coming into this one with 10 touchdowns.
That's really good.
3 games over 100 yards.
Well, he's averaging over 100 yards per game. That's what they have so far. Must have been 3 big yardage games there. And that's thrown incomplete. Looking for Peyton Faulkner on the far side. He's another senior, 6'4". I don't think Avonworth has a starting wide receiver that's under 6 foot. And that reminds me of Keystone Oaks last year, Ryan. When we did that playoff game back at Mars. That was the first game North Catholic had in the playoffs last year. And they didn't have a wide receiver under 6 foot. And that's thrown. Great defense by the safety. There is a flag. That is Luke Baker making an excellent defensive play.
He wasn't afraid to cover him. He's significantly outsized, but he got his hand in there, deflected that pass, and it dropped to the ground incomplete. That's a big-time play.
4th and 9 pending the flag.
Sideline warning, it looks like, on North Catholic.
Sideline warning against North Catholic.
And so the referee will make sure that they get the message by going over there. It is still 4th and 9.
They're going for it.
And they're going to go for
This
it
is
from
where
the
North
38.
Catholic defense can get some momentum. You get scored on early after an early turnover, and then Avonworth recovers the onside kick. Time to get some momentum back for North Catholic.
It looks like they look back towards the referee each time they turn back, but they were looking at their offensive coordinator, who's right over by him. 4th and 9.
Well, they're going to turn it into a punt.
Good call. Harper punted
That's a
it.
good punt. Is he their starting punter?
That's a great punt.
Do you think he's their punter? I mean, that was a
He's
heck of a
definitely done that
punt.
before. There's no way he hasn't done that before. He's not listed as that. He's listed as a quarterback and a defensive back, but that doesn't mean he's not a punter too.
We'd like to thank some of our sponsors tonight, including the Murray.
And Jack Fennell was forced to fair catch that at the 8-yard line.
And I don't see a punter.
They have a kicker listed.
A kicker. I don't see a punter listed.
As far as I'm concerned, Nathan Harper's the punter tonight.
We'll see. They have to punt again.
And if otherwise, we'll let you know. Large football team. for
Long
Avonworth.
field ahead for the Trojans.
And maybe a gain of a yard
Handoff to number 13, Jack Fennell.
for Jack Fennell. They might give him 2. That would be about 2nd and a long 8.
Good for 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
close to 70 kids on the North Catholic, on the Avonworth football roster.
Surprised they didn't move up in classifications with North Catholic and Central Valley last year. The two teams that moved up from 3A to 4A.
North is they have about the same amount of people on their teams as North is, about definitely over 60. And that's a throw to Arrington, who's brought down immediately. No gain. 3rd and 8 from their own 10.
Tackle made by number 5, Andrew Kuban. Gain of only about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Especially with the new starting quarterback this week, Ryan, confidence is key.
You wanted to be able to ease him into the game, but it's tough to ease him into the game when there's a turnover in the first possession, then you lose an onside kick. You're down early trying to get some momentum, so he's going to be forced to throw.
Sarver hands it off. That's run down the sideline. That's enough for a 1st down. Chase Arrington.
He was not
with the
forced to
run.
throw. They gave it to Chase Arrington, and he got some speed to the outside, some good blocking, made a couple nice moves, and got the 1st down. It may not look like it, but that's a really, really big 1st down pickup because you don't want to give the ball back to Avonworth. They're going to have good field position. Now a chance to get a nice drive together, get some points on the board. And if you're punting from your own 10-yard line, there's a good chance that Avonworth would probably be starting with the ball inside the 40, or maybe even worse.
About a 9-yard run by Arrington. And that's a rush for a gain of maybe a yard.
Handoff to number 8, Chase Arrington.
As that was Arrington once again.
Led by Brandon Biazzarelli, number 6.
Avonworth not as tall on defense as they are on offense, as most of those players remain on the offensive side of the ball, as in their wide receivers. Sarver gets the snap, drops back, throws it, miscommunication there, and a flag flies.
Number 8, Chase Arrington, incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Chase Arrington zigged when Sarver thought he was going to zag. Holding on the offense.
Always holding on North Catholic.
And it'll be accepted. It'll bring up a 2nd and 20.
It'll be 2nd down and 20.
And now they're going to talk about it again between the officials here. Where do we put the ball? Jim, do you know where you put the ball? Real lips from up here, Ryan. That's what happened. And now they settle on
Just like you're
putting
doing in the soccer game.
Yep, they settle on putting it about, what is that, the 8-yard line?
It'll be 2nd down and 22.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Make it 2nd and 22. Sarver lets it go. Arrington catches it about the 12, maybe the 13. They'll mark him at the 13 for a gain of 5. And that'll bring up about 3rd and 17.
Tackled by number 1, Jackson Boat.
I think you run this one. I don't think you
so.
go to the air here.
It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Don't want to risk a turnover. You picked up a big third and long earlier on this drive with a run.
This is really
Try to
long,
maybe
though,
catch him on guard, off
I
guard.
guess. This is 17 yards. They put 3 wide on the far side, 1 wide on the near side. That's Luke Baker. They do throw it. Arrington here on the near sideline cuts it up. He gets a little bit of space and room up to about the 22-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play. That will bring up a 4th and 8. And Seamus Straub will come out to punt.
It's basically a run.
Basically a run, yeah.
But that's
Swing pass to the outside.
That's
Try
the exact same gain you got the last time when you did it to the
Yep.
opposite side.
I like that idea though. Don't try to throw it. Try to throw to the outside. You
Play
got
it
some
safe.
playmakers.
Yep.
Can maybe make something happen.
Seamus Straub lets go a punt. That's going to be caught at the 45, returned to the 38.
Aggressive return there to go in and catch it rather than let it bounce. He probably saved about 15 yards of field position. That could have rolled back to the 50 if that landed.
And Avonworth is going to get great field position. Coach O'Shea, 30 years ago, got his start coaching high school football at Northgate. And it has been reported, as he said here at the beginning of the season, that this is his final season coaching. And so this could be the last, this will be the last
That's a little
home football game if that's the case.
aggressiveness there as Caden Summer got pushed to the ground well after the whistle. But tackle for loss there for the Trojans, or for no gain rather.
No gain. It'll be second down and 10.
Brady O'Hare on the tackle.
And to put things in full circle, John Haddad, who was the head coach of Northgate at that time, is here tonight to watch this game. And what could be Coach O'Shea's last home game if he does indeed retire. Full circle. 2nd and 10 for Avonworth. Drops back. Harper's throw is caught. Touchdown. Peyton Faulkner, 13-0.
He delivered a strike there. Perfect throw and a broken tackle there by Faulkner. 10 yards into the end zone. It's a 2-score lead for Avonworth early in this one. They had the height advantage there in a perfectly thrown pass there. Avonworth is up 14-0. Just like that.
Remaining in the first quarter. It's Avonworth 14 and North Catholic nothing.
And Nathan Harper, who kicked that punt earlier, Ryan, he is the holder on the kick. So that means he is the punter for Avonworth. Avonworth fans, the student section namely, getting into the game early as they're up 14-0. They're feeling good, and they should be at this point. But it's a long game, Ryan.
Now it's North Catholic's turn to try to answer. You'd hope for a good return here. Try to get you some better field position than you've had in the first couple of drives, and then try to stack some first downs. Only one first down so far for North Catholic. You put yourself at a couple 3rd and longs. Try to help out your quarterback who's starting for the first time.
Great kick. Caught by Danny Franco. Danny Franco from his own, inside his own 5 brings it out to the 11. Mark him at the 12. And that's where North Catholic will start this drive.
I know Fennell fumbled, but he's your best playmaker. You got to get the ball
Yes.
back to him. You got to trust him. He's been fairly good this year in ball security.
Yes.
You're now 14-0. You need a spark. Give it to your playmaker, Jack Fennell.
You have to. Jack Fennell's averaging 88 rushing yards per game, Ryan. Sarver drops back. Has a guy on him from behind. I don't think he feels him. He didn't. He's sacked.
Try to scramble to the outside, looking downfield, trying to find somewhere to go with it or try to scramble, but then he just got caught from behind and was sacked. North Catholic still hasn't had a positive play on first down, or a win on first down, as I would say.
That's a good call. Yep. Jack Fennell also leads North Catholic in total yards per game, as he's averaging 111 total yards per game.
Low snap.
Low snap, he did pick it up. Thrown, that is going to be complete.
Parker's pass is complete.
Brady O'Hara, but it's only about a 2-yard gain there.
A short gain.
I think that's about a yard.
Third down and 9 from the 14.
3rd and 9 upcoming.
Number 13, Ben Barnes on the coverage for Avonworth.
We tick under a minute left in the first quarter play.
You pass or run here?
Well, the last 2 third downs North had, they've had one run for 9 yards to Chase Arrington and one pass to Chase Arrington for 9 yards. They need 9 yards here.
They're going to pass it here. Sarver tucks it and runs with it. Gets through a man, but he's down short of the marker at the 18.
Good coverage there for Avonworth. Forced Sarver to have to scramble there, and all he could do was try to run people over. He get to the first down line. He came up about, let's say, 4 or 5 yards short.
And they're going to let this clock wind till it hits 0-0.
Well, that's not the start North Division, but it's the dream start for Avonworth, as they have been dominant defensively and then 2 big touchdown passes offensively.
And before we start the second quarter of action, let's turn it over to Callie Martis, who has an interview with Riley Coomer.
Hello, everyone. We're here at JC Stonefield, and I'm here with junior Ryler, kicker for the football team and goalkeeper for the girls soccer team. Riley, congrats on the 2-0 shutout against Avonworth. That's awesome.
It is awesome. It's definitely a big help.
Nice. So how does it feel to knock off Avonworth twice this season after they have been a challenge in the past?
So it feels really good because last year was my first year actually here at North, and getting to play against them, knowing how bad like the rivalry was, it was super exciting. Unfortunately, we didn't come out with what we wanted, but at the end of the time, we learned from it and we came out on top this year as of right now.
Nice. And Riley, you made a huge save at the end of the game to keep the shutout. How were you able to stay focused after not seeing much action?
Well, see, at the first half, I wasn't seeing much action. It was mainly just getting played right to me, or the balls were just coming right to my hands. They are a bit of a physicaler team, so I had to make sure my head was in the game and not to lose my patience. And in order to do that, I just kept my team in it. I didn't want to give up. And the second half, we were starting to not break down, I wouldn't say, but we were definitely getting tired because they are, again, a physical team and they are rougher, so we needed to battle against that. And we did, and we came out on top, so that's all I am grateful for.
And now switching over to football, what are the Trojans' expectations heading into the game against Avonworth?
Well, it's senior night, so I'm hoping that their expectations are to win, and I'm pretty sure they all want that. This means the world to them, and, especially for our seniors, there are a lot of them graduating this year, and with a lot of us hurt, I'm hoping that they come out on top and they win for our seniors because this is a big rivalry between the two schools in general, and I know our team will do just that.
All right, thank you so much, Riley, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Callie, and thank you, Riley, for that great interview. We appreciate it very much. And we'll be checking back in with Callie before we start the second half.
North Catholic has only 1 first down, and Avonworth is countered with 4 first downs total. Caden Sarver is 4 for 4, but only for 16 yards. So he's been accurate in the pass that he's thrown, but not for a lot of yards.
North Catholic calls a timeout. On a 2nd and 8 upcoming for Avonworth from the 43-yard line.
And North's offense is going to have an explosive few drives because they have to break through the barrier that they're hitting right now, and they got to get on the positive side of the field.
They have to.
They have to.
They got to get something going. I mean, you're in the second quarter. You're not going to get the ball to start the third quarter. You got to get some points on the board. The defense has got to step up as well. They've allowed 2 explosive plays. The offense needs to start contributing some.
Otherwise, this game could get ugly in a hurry.
As we mentioned, 2 explosive plays by Avonworth. They have 2 passes for 61 yards. They haven't been great rushing the ball, though. 8 rushes for 21 yards. So North Catholic's done a good job of stopping the run, but the passing game, the size advantage is there for Avonworth, so they're able to get some big explosive plays downfield. And if you're Avonworth, why not keep throwing it? It's been successful.
Yeah, why not? And you got the guys to do it. And they're going to run it here. Hilliard runs to the outside, flag
They call it
flies.
it looks like an illegal block.
It would have only been a gain of 2 anyway. Samir Ware was there for the tackle. And it'll be a holding call.
Looks like it was on number 6, Brandon Vita Biagiarelli. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Brandon's a junior, 6'2", 220 pounds. And that will push North Catholic, not North Catholic, but Avonworth, I should say, back to the 46-yard line. It is 2nd and 19. With the holding call enforced. Harper gets the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back to throw. He lets one go. It's incomplete. Great defense by Gavin Cavity.
Good defense there. But I'd like to see more pressure on the quarterback. He's a little bit too much time to throw, and when you're completing passes downfield and you have time to throw, then you're feeling confident. If you have time in the pocket, then that just gives you even more confidence, even more room to step into your throws. And he's been accurate so far, and he'll continue being accurate if you give him time to throw.
An interesting note, for a team as big as Avonworth is, they actually don't have a player that weighs more than 250 pounds. That's definitely
Have
interesting.
any linemen?
That's the heaviest lineman they have. Harper, there's the pressure you were talking about. He escapes. He's still going. Now they're after him. And he's going to get it away. And
I don't know how he got that ball away. There was pressure. Brady O'Hara was like a freight train running at him. And somehow he was able to escape. And keep scrambling, and there were guys chasing him down from every angle. And as he's like falling to the ground, he's able to get that ball away and complete. But it's to no avail, as Avonworth will be forced to punt now. Or as he will be forced to punt now. The quarterback, he just threw it away.
That's right.
Jack Fennell back to receive. He had a punt return touchdown last week against Hampton. And that was a huge play because that sent the Trojans and the Talbots into overtime. There's only a touchdown in regulation for the Trojans.
That's a line drive punt by Harper that's going to roll all the way to the 10-yard line.
Trojans, yet again, will not have good field position. That one is actually to the 9-yard line. So, wow.
That's a 45-yard punt for a quarterback. And North is not going to get good field position. And Ryan, I don't need to repeat it to you, but they're not good with any field position that's behind their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, but you need the explosive, as you mentioned. You've given up 2 explosives. You've 1 first down on offense. You haven't been good on first down, and I'd like to see a nice gain here on first down, a positive gain, a win on first down, over 3 yards. It's been a lot of negative plays for the Trojans, so they got to get something rolling.
Sarver takes a snap, handoff. Around the outside, maybe a gain of a yard or 2. To Gavin Cavity.
Number 2.
Second and 9 upcoming. Sarver hands it off. Samir Ware, that's Chase Arrington, is wrapped up for a loss.
You're looking for some positive plays. You haven't gotten any.
Loss of, I would say, 3 on the play.
Avonworth has been very quick. A couple outside runs have been attempted. A couple reverse plays. Jet sweeps, just unable to generate any room on the outside. Avonworth is closing gaps fast.
Third and 12.
And I think you definitely do pass here.
Sarver readies. There's the motion man. Flag flies.
That's not going to help you out. False start on the Trojans. The center back even closer to their own goal line.
That's half the distance. And now they're going to get about the 3.5-yard line. Third and about 16.5. They hand it off for no gain. Maybe a yard, if that. And Seamus Strava's going to have his back against the wall on this punt. Seamus picks up the low snap, got it away barely. And a good kick and a good tackle as down to the 31-yard line.
Well, nice tackle there by Cammony, but it's good field position again for Avonworth at the 31-yard line. Really trying to take a stranglehold on the game here in the first half. Trojans, they need momentum.
They do. They need. How about a turnover here?
Yep,
That would help.
Just about to say that. Get a sack. They got close on that third down when they blitzed. Brady O'Hara, he was close there. He's gonna want one here. He's gonna be hungry for a sack.
Harper gets the snap, hands it off, and a big hit.
Brady
My
O'Hara.
goodness. You called it there. Brady O'Hara charged up the middle. Loss of 1 in the play as they're looking for Luke Hilliard on that run. And he's going to come off, and I don't blame him.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Harper gets the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over. And that is brought ahead for, I would say, a gain of 3.
Good tackle there by Seamus Straub.
Andrew Kubin with the catch.
Of about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
And you're going to see safety help here from the Trojans as they're expecting a pass. Don't get beat over the heads here. They already have a 27-yard touchdown pass. This is only a yard farther. That's a handoff. I should say a pitch and catch. And that's going to bring Avonworth inside the 10. That's number 8, Lucas Garda.
Looks like North Catholic could have had him down short of the sticks there, and he broke a couple tackles, showed some burst of speed, and it looked like for a second he actually could be gone. But he's brought down to the 9-yard line, but Avonworth threatening again.
Harper. They look back at your offensive coordinator. They hand it off.
Hand off to Figueroa.
Gain of about
3 on the run.
Tackled on a play by number 20, Danny Franco.
Danny Franco on the tackle,
Julian King.
as that was Vitaly Bigarelli.
No gain. It'll be second down and goal from the 8.
Second and goal from about the 7. Harper gets the snap. Looks to throw. Julian
Good
King's on him.
coverage.
And that's incomplete.
Really good coverage of the Trojans. No one was open. Just forced to throw that one away, or else he would have had to take a sack.
Looked like he was throwing it to Patrick Sharp, our cameraman over on the sideline.
Pass incomplete. Timeout, Avonworth.
It looked like a
That'll bring up a third down and goal from the North Catholic 7-yard line.
Third and goal from the 7.
third.
Thank you to our sponsors, including Kennedy Leader Insurance, Donegal Insurance Group, 7-Eleven, and J. Priest Landscape and Design.
Ryan, this is our last football broadcast.
It is. I didn't even realize that until this game started. All
right.
wins except Aliquippa.
That's right. Hopefully you get a comeback in this one.
Shady Side was the first one, then Aliquippa, then Kiski, and then last week Hampton. That was an exciting one. No one wanted to win that game.
Nope. That's a good way to put it. North didn't get an offensive touchdown in regulation. Not even an offensive point in regulation, as they missed the extra point. And that's thrown deep. That is
It looks like he caught it.
He caught it.
A
My
one-handed
goodness.
grab. That was
Austin
you wanted.
Core.
You wanted them to throw to him the whole game, Alex. You saw he had the height advantage. You asked why they weren't throwing to him. They throw it to him there, and he makes an unbelievable catch because he had the height advantage in the corner of the end zone. And he might have even got both feet down. Wow, that's an amazing catch.
That's an incredible catch. Put that to music. And North's in trouble. 21-0. Avonworth.
The defense, which has been strong all year.
They have no answer right now. Avonworth dominating. I don't think you can hide cookies on the top shelf from Austin Joe Core. You can't.
Thank you to our sponsors, UPMC Health Plan, Federal Brothers Baseball, and Windy Hill PayPal.
And North Catholic's going to get the ball back.
The defense has allowed 3 passing touchdowns, but they haven't been helped to how much. Avonworth has gotten good field position on all their touchdowns. The offense, they got to get some first downs.
Back to receive for North Catholic. Number 2, Gavin Kennedy. Number 13, Jack Fennell. And number 7, Jack White.
You need an explosive.
If you ask me which part of Avonworth is playing the best so far, Ryan, I'm going to say North Catholic's offense, because it's really given them the ball back a lot.
Luckily,
That's gonna
that
be a
ball
touchback.
roared into the end zone.
That could have been egregious.
That could, if that would have stopped short, Camden would have had to pick that one up.
North Catholic at their own 20-yard line.
And now at least North will get the ball from the 20-yard line. North Catholic, let's get a win on first down, Brian. We've been talking about it all night. Let's get a win. More than 3 yards, right?
What's the flag here?
Illegal substitution. My gosh.
Ineligible participation, 12 men in the huddle.
What did you say, 12 men in the huddle?
And a 5-yard penalty. First down and
They had 12 men in the huddle. They are shooting themselves in the foot. And I'm sorry, that's a terrible penalty.
You're down 21-0. You got to get a spark, and taking a penalty on first down isn't great. And now a loss.
Arrington loses about 4 on that run.
Avonworth is playing with a lot of energy. They're gang tackling. They're sending everybody to the ball.
results in a 2-yard loss.
The North Catholic blockers are just outnumbered. There's no room on any of these outside runs that have been successful for North throughout this year.
Linebacker for Avonworth, Benjamin Barnes, lost his helmet on that play. He'll have to come out. And for North, it's 2nd and 18. Sarver drops back, has a guy on him, gets it away. That is a forward pass, is it not?
It was a forward pass, but I don't know if it's intentional grounding or not. I think it was outside of the tackle box, so I don't think it will be.
They'll mark it as an incomplete pass. 3rd and 18.
Pressure provided by number 14, Gabe Barnett.
Worst half the Trojans have played all year. I know this game doesn't mean anything for the record, for their basically their playoff hopes.
Doesn't help confidence.
It doesn't help confidence.
You got to have a good second half. You're not out of this game. A lot of time left. But you got to get something going.
Sarver gets the pass, makes the throw. It's incomplete, looking for Camedy.
Pass intended for number 2, Gavin Kennedy, incomplete.
And Seamus Straub's going to punt again with his back to the end zone. He's going to be in the end zone making this punt once again.
Deep receiving for Avonworth, number 5, Andrew Kuban.
Andrew Kubin will be back to try to receive this. He does get it off. That was another
That's a good
close
punt.
one. And that is a good punt. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
He did.
And he's hurt. Is he down?
There is a flag.
Is it running or rushing?
Roughing or rushing?
Roughing or rushing? Yeah, I said the same thing twice. I said running or rushing. It's going to be roughing the kicker. That's a first down, North Catholic.
That is huge.
That's a personal
Could that
foul.
be the spark that you needed? I didn't even see it. It was a good punt.
That's big. That's really big. And then if you tack on 15 yards, North Catholic has a first down at the 27-yard line.
Is this the furthest they've been? Field-wise? Have they been further
Besides
than
Jack
27?
Fennell's kickoff return at the beginning of the game.
He got to the 25.
He got to about the 25-yard line, and then they got a positive yard.
did.
And then he fumbled it on the second play. So this is about as far as they've been all game. Sarver, guy on him. He has some room now. Throws it to Camedy here on the near sideline, who is going to be close to a first down. He's over it. First down, North Catholic.
Great play there by Caden Sarver, buying time in the pocket, rolling out to his right. Couldn't find a receiver, so he checks down to Camedy, who was open there for a nice gain. Second first down of the game for the Trojans.
12-yard gain by Camedy. Puts North at the 39-yard line. And that's their longest play from scrimmage tonight. Sarver throws it over to Luke Baker. Luke Baker makes
Good
a move. Up to the 43-yard line. Gain of 4. Here we go. A little bit of motion, a little bit of movement.
Number 1 for Avonworth. And Barnes. That'll bring up a second down and 7. at the North Catholic 42.
They ended up marking him at the 42, gain of 3. Sarver, handoff. That is Jack Fennell.
He slammed that hard, but that is a first down.
Gain of 7 and a first. That's the first time he's touched the ball since that fumble, I think.
I believe you're right. Chase Antone was getting a bulk of the carries.
3 wide to the far side. Gavin Camedy is wide near us. Sarver takes the snap, looks to throw, finds Chase Agulia, and he'll lose 2.
It's a good tackle.
Tackle on the play for Avonworth by Kuban. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 47.
2nd and 12 now. Sarver throws it over, caught by Fennell.
He said he thrown.
Make a move. Fennell makes a move, hops over a man, out of bounds.
Oh, that's a hitch in the head.
And a late hit. Ugly hit.
What a hurdle and a great pass by Sarver. He was getting rushed hard. He got hit as he thrown, somehow delivered it to Fennell, who made a great move, and then a hurdle to get a nice gain, and then he was hit, it looked like, to the head at the end. Wait.
Oh, you can't hurdle. You can't hurdle. I don't like that.
Well, it looked like didn't it look like he was hit?
He
I
was
thought
hit
that was
after-
the only.
he
I
was
thought that was the
definitely
only
hit
explanation
high.
to the.
He was definitely hit high on that play.
I didn't know that rule.
What would have been a gain of 7 for North plus a penalty results in North being pushed way back.
Weird motion by the ref on that call.
This is a 2nd down. They have the ball at the 36-yard line. They have to get to the 41 on the other side of the field. And is that caught? That is caught. Brady O'Hara sticks his long arms out there. Gain of 4 to the 40. Oh, incomplete, they're going to call.
I'd like to see
that
Brady
didn't look
O'Hara
like a catch.
get in space. He's had a couple targets, but they both ones that he couldn't do much after the catch. With as big as he is, I like to see some plays over the middle to him to get him open in space. Maybe it's sort of screen pass, because he's fast and he can run over people. He's 6'6". Although I did not know the hurdle rule.
Make that 3rd down and 23.
3rd and 23 for North Catholic.
It looks like North Catholic had momentum. It all got.
And a flag. And that won't help.
Ball started on the Trojan.
3rd and 28 upcoming.
We'll bring up a 3rd down and 28.
1 minute and 51 seconds to go here in the first half. Sarver takes the snap, fakes, and he does give the handoff. That's Jack Fennell. Changes direction. Sarver throws in a block.
Oh, I thought he could have went outside.
Ends up losing 2 on the play.
It looked like he could have gone to the outside. With his speed, you never know what could happen, but he cut back. He was brought down for a loss of 2. It looked like North Catholic had momentum. It all got brought back after that penalty call. How many yards is that penalty?
That was a big one.
Was it a 15-yarder?
I think it knocked him back 15 yards. That's a personal foul, I guess they call it. A personal foul, not North Catholic back.
First time for everything, our hurdle penalty.
And it will be 4th and 29 upcoming. Avonworth called a timeout to stop the clock. as they called one early in the game. I believe they only have one left. They called one on their first offensive drive in the first quarter. And a minute 37 is remaining here before we head to halftime. Seamus Straub is back to punt.
Back to punt to North Catholic is number 56, Seamus Straub.
And they're going to need a big one here. Seamus Straub revs up. Not a bad punt at all. Fair catch called for at the 45-yard line by number 2, Colin Crawford. And they'll start there with a minute 29 to go here in the first half. Harper back to get this one. They look towards the sideline. They get the call, and they get ready. There's the snap, and there's the handoff. A great delayed handoff, and a first down and much more.
It sold that one really well.
Great run by Brandon Vitae Biangalere.
At the North Catholic 37.
To the North Catholic 37, a gain of 18 on the run. That's a high snap. Harper gets it, throws it. It is caught. Gain of 2 on the play.
He stretched that ball out to get an extra yard. But second and 8 instead of second and 9, but that ball could have been whacked out of his hand pretty easily. Kick 45 seconds left. Avonworth trying to score another touchdown here.
John Core who caught that one. Now there's a throw deep. It is incomplete.
Really good coverage there by Gavin Camedy. Again, he's bringing up his second pass of the night.
Looking for Andrew Kuban.
3rd down and 8 from the North Catholic 35.
37 seconds remain in the first half. Harper backs up, sets and fires. First down. Faulkner still going down to the 12. Gain of 23.
Harper's been delivering strikes all night. He's been accurate. Not one pass where you say that was a bad pass. He's been really good tonight. They spike it.
They'll spike it. 23 seconds
Clock killed on the play.
remain here.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 14.
Our halftime coverage is going to start off with the Trib High School Sports Network halftime show. As Harper takes this snap, moves around, Julian King sacks him, and a flag, and that won't.
Face mask, it looks like.
That won't help. And that's a personal foul.
Personal foul face mask on the Trojan. That'll be half the distance.
And now moving to the 7-yard line, as that is a personal foul that will, since they're within the 15-yard line, that is going to, within the red zone, that's going to move them all the way down to the 7 and give them a first down. A second down, pardon me. And Harper drops back, throws it to the end zone, incomplete. They'll have another 2 cracks at it.
Yeah, if they don't kick a field goal, they have one more crack at it. But if they decide to kick a field goal, they probably only have one more. Or they would have to have only one more. Just take another shot at the end zone if you're Avonworth. Your receivers have proven they can win a lot of 50-50 balls. Why not give another opportunity to do it?
Harper's throw way to the near side end zone. It's caught. Touchdown.
The 50-50 ball is caught for the touchdown.
Peyton Faulkner, his second touchdown of the game.
And Harper yet again throws another great pass.
Great pass. 27-0 Avonworth.
North out of the gate, they fumbled. Avonworth scored, then the onside kick, I think shell shocked them.
They did. And that kick is good. North Catholic down 4 touchdowns. As they're going to head into halftime like that. I don't even remember a half last year besides you could talk about the Central Valley game in the Whitfield Championship in which North was this outclassed early.
Against a Class 3A team.
Yep.
Doesn't seem like not enough energy.
It doesn't. This will be kicked by number 31, Michael Oskowski, who kicks it on a line drive, or Gavin Camedy will play. Camedy knocked down at the 19, and that will do it for half one, Ryan. Not much to talk about North Catholic side.
Avonworth, they came ready. They came excited to play. They lost last year in the semifinals to North Catholic. 7-0. And they didn't want to get blanked again tonight. And they came out ready.
They did. They came out
forced
fire.
a fumble, scored a touchdown, then got an onside kick, scored. Or I didn't think they scored. Did they score off the onside kick?
I think they did get a touchdown off that. They didn't.
They
They
did
were
not.
blocked on that one. It was the next drive in which they made it 14-0.
But 4 touchdown passes tonight. Trojan's pass defense has been good this year.
And North is going to have to fix some things during halftime, as we'll be back with the start of the second half coming up. But first, we're going to show our Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime report.
Week 7 edition of the halftime show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Don Rebel along with Chris Harlan. The stretch run is upon us. Over the next couple weeks, we'll be looking ahead, talking about playoff scenarios as we get closer and closer to the march to the North Shore, the march to North Huntington, the WPIL playoffs 2022. Now, however, in this edition of the halftime show, we're looking a little further ahead, like as in years ahead. Well, not that far, but nonetheless, it's time to talk recruiting. And one of the men who really has a great following on recruiting year in and year out, not only in this area, but throughout the Commonwealth, is my partner, Chris Harlan. Chris, before we talk about this class of 2022, we were sort of talking a little beforehand about how, recruiting has changed. There's now 2 official signing days instead of 1. We've had that for a few years now, but also the change of the transfer portal on the college level and how maybe it's taken a little bit of the steam out of recruiting, but you brought it to a different angle that I thought was interesting, in how the portal may be affecting high school recruiting.
Yeah, it's not good for high school recruiting, that's for sure. Because I think what you see is, maybe going into a year where a college thinks they have a certain number of spots at a position. Maybe a team needs 4 linebackers, so they're out there recruiting 4 linebackers. But then along the line, they get a few transfers in. That starts taking away some roster spots, some scholarships you see for high school kids. So, a kid might be wanting to go to the school he prefers, his dream school. Sure. But if they get some transfers in at that position, that certainly, quickly changes up the whole formula and the spots available. So that's a whole nother element now that's in play. And I think it also sees kids committing to schools maybe earlier for that reason. They're hoping, hey, maybe if I get in now, I can get one of those spots. And then when everything comes down later and they fill up spots, it'll be somebody else who gets bumped and not me, because I've already committed to the school. But yeah, no doubt the transfer portal is now another piece in this whole recruiting puzzle that causes problems. And for high school kids, it's good for colleges, but definitely for colleges that get the kids. Yeah. But it's definitely a problem for high school kids.
Yeah, you aren't seeing too many kids who make that original commitment end up finishing at that particular school, whether it's in 3, 4, or 5 years that they are playing at that level. All right, good stuff. Let's talk about this 2022 class. I think everybody felt, even going back a ways, that this group little light on big time talent. Yeah. There's a lot of kids that will end up going to a lot of different schools, but as far as the big schools are concerned, especially compared to years past, this is a little on the light side.
It is. There's still some good talent here. I think by my count, we've got 6 guys going to Power 5 schools from the 2023 class. If you take FBS overall, there's around 16 right now who are committed. So that's a good number. We've had way more than that in other years in the past.
Sure.
But right now, you look at this group, it's a solid group. If you look at the Power 5 guys, right now you got Rodney Gallagher of Laurel Highlands going to West Virginia, Tamir Robinson of Brashear going to Penn State, Lamont Payne, Chartiers Valley, also going to Penn State, Braylon Lovelace from Leechburg committed to Pitt, Devon Fuse, Washington, going to Rutgers, and Jordan Meyer of Thomas Jefferson committed to Wisconsin. So you look at those 6, I think that's a solid group of 6 guys that are going to Power 5. A couple of them there at the top, when you look at the big recruiting coming into the year, the big questions were Rodney Gallagher, Tamir Robinson. Those were the ones that people were following. Lamont Payne is a big-time recruit too, but he had committed all the way last September. He committed to Penn State. The other couple guys there, Rodney Gallagher, Tamir Robinson. Gallagher committed in May to West Virginia, which I think most people think WPIAL as being Pitt territory. But for him, growing up in Fayette County, he considered that West Virginia territory. They're right there near the border. So that's what led him to West Virginia. His family could go see him play. Tamir Robinson committed in July to Penn State. For him, it really came down to what the love he got from Penn State staff. If you go back a year ago, he tore up his knee in a C-League playoff game and had to have a knee surgery, and hasn't played at all this year while recovering from it still. But when he had to have surgery back then and during the rehab process, Tamir talked about how the Penn State coaches just really reached out to him. I mean, they sent him videos wishing him luck in the surgery and checked on him afterwards. And so it came down to time to pick a school. For him, Penn State was an easy choice, he said, because he just felt that love from them and felt like they really cared about him as a person. So that just shows you, how much the recruiting is about building relationships with kids beyond just the X's and O's of football. Look at some of the other guys here who are committed to FBS schools. Cruz Brookins, Steel Valley's headed to Kent State. Cameron Cheatham from Brashear, he's headed to Akron. A couple kids going to Toledo. Chris Diapollonia from Seneca Valley. Gavin Mole from Bethel Park. 2 teammates headed to Navy. I think that's always interesting. You see the service academies always on the list every year, but this year two teammates, Luke Lawson and Aiden Lysek from Seneca Valley, both going to Navy. Joe Enoch from Penn Trafford to Central Michigan. Conlon Green, also from Penn Trafford, he's committed to Temple. Gregory Smith from Steel Valley and Rayon Strader from Penn Hills both headed to Miami, Ohio. So a good group there of all guys going to FBS schools. A couple other names going to FCSs. Matt Brooks from Gateway headed to Duquesne. Cade Capristo from Mount Lebanon to Richmond. And just recently, Dre Miller Ross from Stowe Rocks, I think just last week, committed to Howard. So adding to the list. And that list, as we get closer, like you mentioned, the early signing period is December 21st to the 23rd. Traditional signing period is February 1st. As we move on, that's still a couple months away here. As we keep moving along, you'll see that list keep growing, I'm sure.
A lot of kids, this has been a recent phenom going to MAC schools. A lot of those MAC schools have definitely targeted southwestern Pennsylvania when they're doing their recruiting. And you mentioned Jordan Mayer of Thomas Jefferson committing to Wisconsin. You wonder if that changes now with Paul Christ being let go. Again, it depends on what assistants are still going to be there, what assistants were involved in his recruiting, et cetera, et cetera.
And keep an eye on sidelines here. We're right in the middle of an evaluation period from now into November, where recruiters are allowed to make a visit to a school or to a stadium. They can't have in-person visits with kids right now, but they're allowed to go out and meet with school representatives and watch kids play. So this is the time of year when you see those college coaches start popping up on Friday nights.
Good stuff as always. Check out tribhssn.triblive.com on a daily basis. You should be doing that. But anytime something breaks, recruiting-wise, Chris Harlan is on it. Good stuff, Chris. Chris will be breaking down the playoff scenarios with myself over the next couple of weeks as we are in stretch run football mode. Enjoy the second half of the game you are checking out here in Week 7 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Put your hands together for the finale.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now taking the field is the North Catholic High School Trojan Marching Band. This year, take a journey into our imagination as the band takes you through the magical music of Disney. The songs from their fantastic show, featuring hits from The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. And now, under the direction of drum major Mackenzie Butler, please welcome to the field the North Catholic High School Trojan Marching Band.
Okay, I got it. I just got my shake. Do I shake it? I'll shake it. That's funny.
JC Stone Field as we get ready for the second half. Before we do, let's look back at the week that was for NC Athletics.
Inside, Risher across to Berry, scores! Ryan Berry! Great play in there. Now Quinn Risher in front, scores! Oh boy, Quinn Risher, his first. Blair Quinte over to Berry, scores! Ryan Berry. Right back out. And look out in front, Cougar picks it up, and she bears the brunt of the hit.
Zimmerman wasn't ready.
And there it's in! The centering pass by Sharpless is put in by the Trojanettes with 50 seconds to go in the half. The kick, it's in, 2-0, North Catholic. Perfect, down to Sweeney, who's kicked, stopped by Cover. What a stop! And North Catholic, as the football team counts them down, our section champions.
Yep. Proved to 11-0 in conference, Alex, with one game.
In other scores from the week, girls soccer took down Hopewell by a score of 8-2. Girls volleyball continued their winning ways, taking down both Mars and Lincoln Park in 3 straight sets. Seniors Allie Fesco and Sydney Jones led the way. Fesco recorded 15 kills, while Jones had 29 assists in the team's win over Mars Tuesday night at home. Boys soccer tallied a needed win on the road Tuesday night. Their 3-1 win over Highlands secured them a spot in the WPIAL 3A playoffs. Let's send it back to the booth with Alex, Ryan, and Sean Malone for some first half stats.
Thank you, Callie, and thank you, Patrick, for zooming that camera in real tight on us. And Mr. Malone, what are some first half stats recaps that we have? Not a lot on the North Catholic side, that's for sure.
No, North Catholic only had 52 yards on 23 plays. That's an average of 2.26 yards per play. But my stat of the first half, Alex, is actually, I'm going to pose it in the form of a question. If you had to make a guess, which team do you think completed more passes in that first half?
I would say North.
You'd be wrong. Neither of them. They both completed 7 passes. It was a trick question. But North's 7 passes went for 34 yards, and Avonworth's 7 passes went for 119 yards. That's 17 yards per play for Avonworth per pass, and less than 5 yards per pass for North Catholic. So Avonworth's passing attack, even though the same number of passes were completed, as Ryan used this adjective a bunch in the first half, much more explosive. And that has been the difference, as all 4 of Avonworth's touchdowns came on passes.
If you just look at a specific aspect of those stats, what is something that North has to improve upon in order to get back in this game in the second half?
Well, none of the offensive stats are good.
Yeah.
They also had 11 rushes for 22 yards. And rushing defense is probably the area that they did the best. Avonworth only had 12 rushes for 44 total yards. That's less than 4 yards per rush. So the rushing defense has been okay. The passing defense, it's not been all that awful. It was 7 for 14. Yeah. So a 50% completion rate isn't great, but the passes that he did complete, 4 of the 7 went for touchdowns. So the passing defense, especially on big plays, has got to improve. And I want to add on the recap of the sports.
Tennis.
It's hard to get a tennis.
Add in some tennis.
Yeah, the girls' tennis team, the season ended this week. We lost 3-2 in the first round of the playoffs to Chartiers Valley, but it was a really hard-fought match. 2 of our seniors, Annabelle Polowitz and Danny O'Connor, got wins in their last ever doubles match at second doubles, and then sophomore Katie Hardy played for almost 3 hours and won a 3-set match. It was very impressive, even though we lost. So.
That's like a professional match.
Yes, yeah, it was a professional length tennis match. It was exhausting to watch. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on as always, and I'll give it back to the star of the booth, Ryan Barry.
It has been our pleasure to have you in a part of the broadcast again this year. And there it is, Mr. Malone, with your first half stat recaps. And let's send it over to the field now as our first half coverage coming up. This is the workplace up here and the top here in the broadcast booth at JC Stone Field. That's our look we got. And we're right above this camera that you're looking at right now.
something different there we did. And that highlight package that you watched that recapped this week's sports for North Catholic was made by our phenomenal executive producer, Mr. Jonathan Hoffman. That's the big leagues right there, Ryan.
That was really well made.
And you're in that a couple times yourself. Scored 2 goals, got 2 assists in that 7-0 rout of Blackhawk on Tuesday. We'll be carrying the upcoming hockey broadcast this Tuesday. Upcoming Tuesday, I should say. That is the 18th against North Hills. Myself, Callie Martis, who you just heard from, will be there for that matchup. As we look at the field right now, both teams stretching out, warming up here for the start of the second half. That is upon us.
Well, if you're North, you're down 28.
Yeah.
You don't get the ball to start the half. Obviously, you have to get a stop. The defense has been good in the run stopping, but has let up a good amount of explosive plays, which hasn't been good at all and has allowed Avonworth to be able to drive down the field. But they also haven't been put in great situations. Avonworth has started a lot of drives with really, really good field position. Hopefully off of this kickoff, they won't have a great field position, and hopefully you can get a good stop, and then the offense can finally get good field position. Field position battle has been won so much by Avonworth. I mean, Avonworth has great field position every drive. North has been behind the 25-yard line at the start of nearly every drive. So you got to start to get something going. You got to get a stop, and you got to put points on the board. I mean, you got 24 minutes left in this one. You got to play with some energy. Not enough energy has been shown by this North squad. We know they have it. They've shown a lot of energy this year. They've had some really good games.
It's like
come
they
out
just
angry.
go through the motions.
They need to come out angry this half. Get a good stop on Dia, 3 and out, and then put the ball in the end zone. You got to get some pressure, too. No sacks yet for North. As we said, the pass attack has been good for Avonworth. Nathan Harper has been efficient. 7 for 14, 119 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But those 4 touchdowns are highlighting that stat sheet.
This is returned by Avonworth to the
28 or 29,
28
it looks
or
like.
29, yeah. Mark them at the 29. And that's where they will start the second half.
But the biggest advantage, I think, for Avonworth has been the size advantage, wide receivers versus defensive backs. They've been able to win a lot of 50-50 balls and make some really, really good contested catches that have obviously all 4 touchdowns have been scored through the air, which is rare against this North defense.
This is taken here by Hilliard. No gain on the play.
Tackle made by number 3, Sarver, and number 83, O'Hara.
Caden Sarver and Brady O'Hara there on the tackles. If Avonworth gets a touchdown here, they go up by 5 scores, Ryan. It'll be a running clock in this one. That is handed off again to Hilliard. He runs over the 30, flagging the play as he gets up to about the 34-yard line.
This is a hole that would help out North Catholic.
It is.
You also need a little bit of help from Avonworth and the officials in this half as well. If you want to try to mount a comeback, you need.
You're right. You're right.
And I think you need to force at least one turnover.
And it's going to be a 2nd and 20 for the Antelopes. And it's a cold night here, Ryan.
It is.
You can feel through the booth. We do have a window open on the side. Harper hands it off.
Another one of those draw plays that worked near the end of the first half. It's a nice gain. About 12 yards.
That's a big gain for Avonworth. Biancarelli there on the run. Third, I should say, in about 7. Harper's throw, caught, first down and more. Faulkner down at the 48-yard line.
That slant play has worked numerous times for Avonworth, and just too much cushion has been given up by the Trojans defenders, and just allowed to sneak into soft spots to pick up some nice chunk gains have been the Avonworth receivers.
Avonworth looks towards the sideline, gets the play call. Then gets the snap. It's a high one, handoff. Gain of 2.
Carry number 6, Brandon Bigarelli. Stopped by number 74, J.J. Iaquinta.
For Bigarelli.
Result is a gain of 2 yards to the 50.
Harper looks back towards the sideline. Motion there. Harper throws it over the middle like a plate.
His first bad pass of the night. Now another opportunity for the Trojan defense. Try to get off the field.
And Harper keeps up that completion percentage of 50%.
And Avonworth, they haven't been great on the rush, but they have more rush yards than North Catholic has total yards. That just shows how stagnant the North Catholic offense has been.
Harper drops back, fires it, incomplete.
Good coverage on the play by Chase Arrington. And decision time for Avonworth. I assume they would punt up 28, and they do.
It looks like they will, yeah.
So you got what you wanted. You got a not a 3 and out, but you got to stop on defense.
That's only the second punt by Avonworth tonight.
Back to punt for Avonworth, number 9, Nate Harper.
That's punted off by Harper. And that will roll down to the 13-yard line.
Punt is down after it rolls down to the North Catholic 14-yard line where the Trojans will start 1st and 10.
And North Catholic is going to start again, once again, I should say, from within their own 20-yard line.
Again, not great field position, but you got to try to do. You have to do something to it. There's no other option. You're now 28. You got to get points on the board this drive.
Every drive has to be points, basically.
In that last drive of the first half, it looked better until the penalty.
Oh my! Emblematic of their night. And that ball is going to be tough to catch, especially as it gets colder. And that went right out of the hands of Jack Fennell. Caden Sarver looking for something, anything to get his offense going. And the ball comes out. I don't know if that was a planned chip.
It was. Yeah, it was a shuffle pass. That was
to Samir Ware. Lucky.
Or it was a backwards lateral, rather. Pitch. Yeah.
I don't even know what they were
There.
doing.
It was a pitch play, tried to get it to the outside, but it was underthrown.
It was.
Third down and 15 for North Catholic from their own 10.
Third and long. How many times have we said that tonight?
Too many to count. Quinta, the senior, snaps it back. Sarver in trouble, throws it away. There wasn't a receiver in the area. What are they going to call?
Samir Ware was there.
He threw it over the offensive line.
We'll see
and
what
the
they call,
defensive
though.
line. Safety.
They did
There
call
it is.
safety. Samir Ware was blocking. I don't know if they would consider him a receiver. He was somewhat near, but they do call it a safety.
Since that it's basically an intentional grounding, but since the intentional grounding is so far back on this play, it is a safety. Makes it 30-0. Avonworth. And this is about as bad as we've ever seen North play.
Lackluster.
Yep. And if you're Avonworth at this point, it's almost pad the stats time.
For North Catholic is number 3, Caden Sarver, will do the free kick.
They call this one a free kick after a safety, in which they will kick it from the 20.
Back for Avonworth to receive the kick is number 2, Colin Crawford, and number 5, Andrew Kubam.
Avonworth has a couple guys back. Caden Sarver. Kick this one. That's a good kick. Caught just prior to the 40-yard line and brought to the 50 on the return.
Good field position yet again for Avonworth. What we have to do is force a turnover.
And with the score as it is, Ryan, we might as well talk about some of the seniors tonight on North Catholic. And many of whom we've talked about all year, like Seamus Straub. Seamus Straub, the leader on this team, plays just about every side of the ball you can think of. Punting this year, stepped up to punt this year too.
He did, yep.
Playing linebacker right now on defense.
Who punted last year?
It was Daniel Long was the
Daniel
punter
Long,
last year. Now at Highlands. But Seamus stepped up when his team needed him to punt, and that's a new adventure for him this year, and he's done well. That's Harper on the keeper. No gain.
Another senior who's made a big impact. Is one of the leaders on this team is Chase Arrington. He's taken on a leadership
absolutely.
role this year. He shares the running back room with Jack Fennell. He's fast, explosive. He's had a good year for himself with some touchdowns. He's really good defensive back as well. Plays with a lot of energy, intensity, and has a knack for big plays defensively as well.
You talk about the leadership role that he's played. He's been excellent. He leads the team out onto the field prior to each game. That's thrown and caught by Colin Crawford for a gain of about 5 in the play. Number 74 for Avonworth. Can't quite see him on the screen, but if you look at the lineman, he's the first one to the line on that far side. He's the right guard. He was in the band during the halftime performance by the Avonworth band. And the right tackle. He's a freshman, too. Peter Bonnet.
A freshman starting on the offensive line. That's rare.
That is 6'3". He's 6'3", 235. And was a trumpet in the band.
With Catholic, another stop on third down. Good tackle by Brady O'Hara.
And now you're looking at fourth down, Ryan. And what does Avonworth do here?
Well, they have a lot of options because their punter is their quarterback. So you can line up like you're running a play and then punt it. or you can try to go for it and try to keep putting the nail in the coffin.
4th and about 4.
Yep.
And now they're going to, and a bad snap. Harper does recover. Now he's going to have to throw it. It's incomplete.
Well, North Catholic wanted a good field position. They'll get it here.
Best field position of the night at their own 44-yard line. Avonworth student section just having fun at this point. North Catholic student section is about half empty from where it was earlier tonight. The cold doesn't help in this one. But there are many who stayed for North, which is pretty cool to see. Is very supportive of the team. JJ Quinta, another leader on this team, another senior. Did track and field last year. He's a shot putter, Ryan. He does a lot of different things, but he's excellent at shot put. And that is Samir Ware, who's brought down after a gain of a yard.
Gavin Kennedy got the game-winning touchdown last week against Hampton. Has he gotten a target tonight?
He might have. He definitely doesn't. I don't think he has any catches in this game.
He has 2 targets. Trying to get him downfield. He's probably your best receiver.
Like you see,
over the middle. Yep.
They have 3 linebackers right there.
They've been running it so much that they're selling out pretty basically to the run.
They're covering well in the pass. Luke Baker looking for him. Oh, and he almost got it. Just out of
hit
his
his
reach.
hands. Probably should have had it, but
I like the aggressiveness there.
I do. A good route by Baker, got open. Ball hit his fingertips. Probably his right hand and just fell to the ground.
Yep.
It's a killer.
4:49 to go here in the third quarter.
Second down and 9 for the Trojans.
3rd and 9 for North. Thrown over to the far side. Loss of
I don't get
3 on the play.
I say take a shot there.
You threw it at the line of scrimmage. You're down 30.
And they're punting as well. I guess you got McKinney has 2 catches for 17 yards.
Okay. Just blends in with the rest of the night for North Catholic offensively.
Back to punt is number 56, Seamus Straub.
Another thing that's a little bit confusing with Gavin this week, as he's wearing the jersey number 2 this week. He has worn number 5 in every previous game, including last week when he got that game-winning touchdown. He's wearing 2 this week.
Yeah, I saw number 2 making.
Which is what he's supposed to have been all year.
It's on the roster as number 2.
roster.
And I said, Alex, who's number 2? And then the PA guy announces Gavin Kennedy. I'm like, number 2, Gavin Kennedy? I thought I was losing it for a second. Like I didn't even remember what number he was.
Four here to go in the third quarter. Danny Franco coming off the side. He's blocked out. Seamus Straub and Caden Sarver there for a nice tackle. No gain on the play. Worth 2 wide receivers wide to the near side. Harper's going to throw it. Looking deep, looking for Faulkner. He catches it on North Catholic side. pushes a man down, still going.
Was that?
And he's going to be tackled. Great effort on the play defensively by Jack Fennell. But a big
Cammy
gain.
got knocked down. It looked like he stiff armed him right
did.
to the face. When Cammy was,
I think as long as he doesn't grasp the face mask.
I thought he was out of bounds when he was grabbing it.
It
So
looked
I thought
like he was out of
yeah,
bounds.
but he was definitely. I guess he was definitely in. Hard to tell with the Avonworth
Right,
sideline
yeah.
in the way, but it's another big gain. And he's won those 50-50 battles tonight.
Massive play. 61 yards. On that throw to Faulkner, who has 2 touchdowns in this game. He's over 100 yards. Harper.
Ball's out.
And Julian King with a strip sack. Picked up by North.
And Fennell
That was
picked it
Fennell.
up, and he was almost gone.
That caught me by surprise.
Who got to him?
Julian King with
Julian
the strip sack.
King.
The senior.
He's created havoc all year.
Yes.
He's been a energy for this defense. A big play made there.
Julian King, in his senior night recognition, said his favorite moment playing for North was the victory against Avonworth last year in the semifinal.
And
That
Fennell
was a
away,
little
and he
point
was inches away. He got a shoestring tackle there because if he gets out in open field, there's no one's catching him. And I don't know if Catholic will have to drive.
Oh, no, that's a horse collar tackle. It looked like no flag.
Another loss on first down for the Trojans.
That was close to a horse collar. Now it's a 2nd and 11 as they lost one on that play. Get a first down here, please. Hand off. There's your first down.
There's a burst of speed.
Samir Ware, I think that's who it was, right? That
Yep.
was. Samir Ware with an excellent burst up to the 47. Gain of 13. Samir Ware again gets to the 50.
Tackle by number 17, Nico Neal.
2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 now from the 50.
Less than a minute 30 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Sarver drops back, throws it to Ware off his hands and incomplete.
And if that would have been caught, that wouldn't have gone anywhere either. Wasn't much room for him to run.
Sarver throws it, gets Fennell. Fennell makes a move. Look at that play. He might have gotten the first down.
It's definitely close.
They're going to mark him just short.
They're gonna give
Oh,
him
the
that.
referee's he's calling a first down, isn't he? First down.
That looks. The ball plays is definitely short.
He was definitely short. The referee kind of took a glance and said, "That's good enough."
30-0 game.
Sarver hands off to Ware. Samir Ware dodges a tackle, gets a gain of a yard.
And that will most likely bring us to the end of the quarter. Unless they try to get a quick play in here before.
Gain of about a yard. That'll bring up second and 9.
Which it doesn't look like they will.
I don't think they're going to run a play here.
No.
And at the end of 36 minutes, North Catholic down 30-0.
North Catholic, nothing.
And even though this is our last football broadcast round, we got plenty more broadcasts to come from all of our other sports. As I mentioned earlier, we have hockey coming up on Tuesday. That's a 9:20 start on the North Catholic Sports Network as the North Hills Indians come to town to the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. And what's going to be a great divisional matchup between the Trojans and the Indians. And then we got volleyball playoffs starting to come up here soon as their season wraps up. They've been phenomenal. The Trojanettes in volleyball have been phenomenal. They're going to win their section if they haven't already locked it up. They probably have. They're going to win their section.
They haven't lost a set.
Haven't lost a set in section. So we have playoffs for that coming up. Basketball is a little over a month and a half away. Samir Ware with a run there gets 3.
Kane
Sarver's complete passes to 6 different receivers. And North Catholic's been a run-heavy offense this year, so that might be more than different receivers that have caught the ball tonight that have all season.
Absolutely. That's definitely the most in one game.
Yep.
Third and 6 for North Catholic. Sarver throws it. Behind the line of scrimmage is the whistle as Jack Fennell was stood up for a loss of 2 in the play. Third and about 7. Third and 8, we'll say 4th and 8, pardon me.
You got to go forward here.
Yep.
Obviously. Nothing to lose. Defense has played a lot better this half, though.
They have.
Trojans will go for it on 4th and 7.
Sarver steps back to throw. Incomplete pass looking for Samir Ware. Film next Monday is going to be brutal for the Trojans. And an interesting part of it is, though, is that they have the JV game on Monday of next week. So that's going to change their practice schedule around a bit for the week. On Monday, they normally would end at 8. On Monday, they're going to end at 6:30 now. So that's maybe with this, I don't know if that changes with this game, but the film, they're going to have to spend a lot of time looking at the film for this game, seeing what went wrong.
Because
there's
a lot better football team than
they
this.
are.
Tackle made on the play by number 20, Danny Franco.
Danny Franco forces a tackle there, a loss of 3 on the play.
Ball carried by Luke Hilliard, number 3.
Unfortunately for North, 4 seniors are out tonight that were honored in our pregame ceremonies.
Most
are not
of them have been
playing
out
tonight.
for a while this year, too.
Yeah, Tyler Cannon, Mitch Lanthaler haven't played much at all this year. Jacob Valentine out as well, and Nathan Putz as well.
Timeout by Avonworth.
In addition to that. But they've been a constant at practices, meetings, and games this year. And even though their leadership might not be felt on the field, it's certainly felt everywhere else but the playing surface, on the bench, everywhere. They're right talking to their players every time they get off the field. And their leadership will be missed once the season's over. Now, hopefully, Seamus and JJ do track and field again this year. Excellent throwers. Seamus is phenomenal at the javelin. Absolutely phenomenal. He does not like the shot put. He ends up throwing the shot put like a baseball, and if you do that too often, you're going to be in trouble. JJ Quinta is an excellent thrower of the shot put. He was so close to making it to the Whippeal meet to determine if he'd be able to go on to states. He was within inches of that mark that he needed to be at. He had the North Catholic school record for shot put, and he's looking to improve upon that this year as well. Hopefully he does it. I really do hope he does, because he's excellent at it, and he'll make it to the Whippeal championship, if you will, for track. If he did so.
3rd and 14 here.
But this shows the type of guy he is. He came anyway to that meet to cheer everyone else on. And his sister was there, but he was there cheering everyone on.
It's complete.
That's Cuban up to the 47, and North will get the ball back. They're going to punt it. Yes, they will.
The defense has been better.
They have been. You called it better in the second half here. It's 4th and 5.
But too little, too late.
There's the punt. Out of bounds at the 31. Maybe. Might have been a little higher. Might have been a little further up the field than that. Referees are cold too. That should be a sign. Somebody should make a shirt that says that.
North Catholic hoping to get their longest drive of the night. Their longest so far is 27, and that was the last drive that they've had. No. The last one was 23.
Jack Fennell. Look at this. Jack Fennell that's a loss of 6 on that play. Second and 16 coming up.
A 27-yard drive was the second drive of this game.
Today, yep. That feels like ages ago. What time
doesn't
is
even
it
feel
now?
like the same game.
It's 9 o'clock. Okay. If you think about, though, both of these games that we've covered today, Ryan, the Trojanettes soccer victory and this one, and that's another loss on the play. Both have been about avenging last year's losses in a way, right?
Yep.
The Trojanettes lost to Avonworth twice last year in the Whippeal Championship and then in the state semifinals, as that knocked them out of both. And North has beaten them twice this year, including today 2-0 on goals by Brittany Cullen and Simone Sharpless. And then in this one, North Catholic beats Avonworth last year in the Whippeal semifinals. And now these two teams play today, and Avonworth has done nothing but dominate, and there was another fumbled snap on that play. Ryan, in this one, there's too much to diagnose what's wrong in this game, but it has to be more than just not paying attention to the details.
They haven't played with the energy on offense. They haven't been quick enough blocking-wise They haven't been able to create big plays, too many negative plays on first down. They haven't been able to get wins on first down, which is what I say more than 3 yards. They've given up 4 explosives on defense. They haven't been able to get any explosives on offense. They forced 1 turnover, but weren't able to get anything from it. They have 1 turnover on offense as well, a fumble in the first drive of the game. Then they let up the onside kick.
Yep.
And from there, they just look shell-shocked.
Never got back in the game. Never recovered.
And honestly, you could say that the onside kick won the game. Won Avonworth the game.
It changed everything. It really did. The body language after that was terrible from North. And I think it's true to say this, that Avonworth really wanted to win this game. It looks like they wanted to win this game more than North.
North Catholic has had 4 drives tonight of 0 or negative yards.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's not going to win you a football game.
And Avonworth starts drives like this. Andrew Kilburn goes from the 48-yard line to the 32, a gain of 16 and a first down. And now down here on the near sideline, out of bounds at the 16, maybe the 17.
Oh, that was close.
Is Vitai Bajarelli. Nice gain on that play from the 32 to the 19. Gain of 13. And a first down. Harper steps back, throws down the near sideline. Incomplete. Flag is out, and it's going to be against North Catholic. Samir Ware is going to be called for a hold. Who was guarding on that play as he was looking for Peyton Faulkner, who already has 2 touchdowns, and a longest play, I believe, for either team of 61 yards.
We got some time. We want to talk about some more seniors, Alex, for North Catholic?
Let's do it.
JJ Iaquinta.
Yep, JJ, excellent leader on this team. Tremendous in track, as I talked about earlier, at the shot put. He'll make it to states this year if he does track again. Coach Terry, who's our head coach for track, he is a assistant coach on the North Catholic football team. As he does a lot of different things. He works with the secondary, he works with the running backs, he does a lot. He does a lot for football. Flag flies as the play is whistled dead.
Nathan Puss, another senior, who's contributed to Lost North this year.
He got injured in the game against Highlands. That was 4 weeks ago. And he's been at every game since. He's been at every meeting that he can be since. Every practice that he can be, and he's led by example as Mitch Lanthaler, Tyler Cannon, Jacob Valentine. Even though they haven't been able to play that much, they keep on going. Justin Smith, an offensive lineman. And that's thrown across the far side, down to the 14-yard line. No gain on the play is Colin Crawford. But Justin Smith, another great leader for the Trojans. I think every senior that they have, North, you could say that about. Truly. Harper drops back, pressure on him. He throws it incomplete.
Third and goal from the 14 now for Avonworth. Trying to add to the 30-0 lead. After this one, Avonworth will improve to 7-1 overall. North Catholic will fall to 4-4.
2 more conference games to go for both teams.
North Catholic can't let this game deter them. They need to win another one, most likely to clinch the playoffs. They have Indiana next week at Indiana, and then they play at Mars, the home field for the Trojans last year, the week after that. So 2 teams right now, the North Catholic is battling for that 4th spot. If they can win one of those, they most likely will be in it because they do have the tiebreaker against Hampton, who is another one of the teams battling for the 4th spot. Right now, Hampton, I believe, is 1-2 in conference. North Catholic is.
Let's see if any of the scores are
2-2.
finalized tonight.
Indiana is 1-3 in conference, and Mars is 2-1 in conference. Mars
Indiana-
is playing Armstrong tonight, so Armstrong is 3-0 in conference, 6-1 overall. Armstrong and Highlands are.
Oh, here's the big final. You just talked about these 2 teams. Hampton beat Indiana tonight, 42-7.
Wow. So that makes Hampton 2-2. Indiana drops down to 1-4. That basically, I believe it.
Touchdown, Avonworth.
I believe that does eliminate Indiana, or make it very hard for them to get in at 1-4 right now.
Yeah, they're done.
Hampton's 2-2 now.
And North Catholic will go play Indiana next week at Indiana.
So if Hampton, I believe, has, how many conference games does Hampton have left?
Hampton still.
So 2-2,
Hampton
then they would
has
have 2
more.
left.
Hampton
So they
has
could
2
finish theoretically. The best they could finish is 4-2. The best North can finish is 4-2, but North Catholic would have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, they would.
So if North Catholic basically needs to win 1 more, you think, unless Hampton wins out, and so
then you're in trouble. And that Mars game could be proved to be the end-all be-all.
Quarterback for Avonworth, Nathan Harper, has had an amazing tonight. 14 of 26 for 240 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's delivered a lot of great passes, and the receivers have helped him out with winning some great 50-50 balls as well. Just dominant through the air tonight has been Harper.
And we're going to have a running clock for the rest of this game as we're over 5-score game. 37-0. And here's just something I have never seen before, Ryan. Since I've been in high school, there was a forfeit tonight in the Whippeal. Our Lady of Sacred Heart Olsh is going to win 1-0 over Avila, who forfeited. I've never heard of that, ever.
Mars is losing 48-17 right now to Armstrong.
That's big. There goes Samir Ware. Samir Ware breaks through. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Samir Ware.
There
What
we
took
go.
so long?
We finally have
My
some
goodness.
offense. The clock does not run anymore. Because it's now under 35.
Yep, it's within 5 scores now. Samir Ware, how about the wheels on him? Sign him up for track.
And Riley Cooper on to attempt the extra point. As she pitched a shutout. Or not. Not pitch.
Goal
It is the right word. Pitched a shutout. Alex making me think I was saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, well.
Goaltended a shutout. Is that what you want me to say?
Yeah, that's worse. That's worse. There's the kick by Comer, and it's good.
That would have been good from 30.
Absolutely. Riley's been sensational this year for both the Trojans and for the Trojanettes soccer team, as they've only given up 4 goals in their last 6 games. Ryan,
So, Alex, what does North need to do to come back in this one?
I think they need 30 points in the next 4 minutes and 53 seconds. So I would say you have to at least get
like Tony Romo.
a touchdown per minute.
Steelers are down like 35 at half, or in the third quarter. He's like, if the Steelers are going to come back in this game,
he has to keep the folks interested. Or when Kenny Pickett got hit late on that play, James Daniels came over to push down DeMar Hamlin, and he's like, "It better not spill over up here, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push you out of the booth." I wouldn't push you out, Ryan, if there was a fight up here. You're welcome.
I don't know what's worse, his jokes or your jokes.
People laugh at my jokes.
False start on the kickoff.
Oh my gosh.
Seen a lot of firsts tonight.
Yeah.
Penalty for hurdling. Didn't know that existed.
It's a great play, though.
A false start on the kickoff. Just about sums up the way North tonight just went.
Washington beat Charleroi tonight, 61-0. You want to talk about points? That's a lot. The referee's waving someone back. Who are they waving back? They're waving back Avonworth. Okay. As now for the 35-yard line, Caden Sarver will kick off.
I thought maybe they'd just do a squib there for the heck of it, but
Sarver's kick, it goes. He brings it out of bounds. Andrew Kubin, it hit his hands, and he just falls out of bounds with it.
Avonworth is over 300 yards tonight, which
wow,
they're averaging a pretty good amount as well, but that definitely beats their average. They're averaging 286 per game, and they're doing this against a 4A opponent and a good North Catholic defense who was only allowed over 30 points one time this year to Armstrong, which is a very, very dynamic offense, and is battling right now to win the Greater Allegheny Conference, which North Catholic is in.
And Nate Harper came into this game averaging 121.5 passing yards per game. I think he's over 200 for sure in this matchup. 240 to be exact.
There's a
Thanks
fumble.
to Sean Malone. There's a fumble. Get Joey King there. No, I think it's Avonworth has it, I think.
Yes. Curve number 15. That could have been the turning point.
Stop it. And they have a new quarterback in the game, as Harper checked out with 240 passing yards. Excellent performance for him.
North Catholic is a good team. They've had a lot of good games this year, I think.
But Harper
It's just a
threw
bad
5
night.
touchdowns. 5 touchdowns
Yeah, it's a
tonight.
bad night.
Secondary was just...
You're not going to face many receivers with the
Not
height
good
that
enough.
Avonworth has, and I think that really gave them the advantage tonight. That North Catholic just kind of got shell-shocked after the fumble and the onside kick right after that. They have 2 really winnable games to close out the year, and if they can win both those,
do.
they'll be in the playoffs. They can win one of them and go to the playoffs.
But honestly, Ryan, if we look at this season as a whole, and this is our time to do so, moving up to 4A this year, first year in 4A, if you make the playoffs, that's without a doubt a success.
Yes.
Honestly.
It is.
That's without a doubt a success.
You knew the offense was going to take a hit after losing Kyle Topinski and Joey Prentice,
Yeah, absolutely.
the quarterback and wide receiver. And lost a lot of offensive linemen as well.
They did. They lost a good chunk of their offensive defensive line last year.
Battling injuries at the quarterback. Jason Sickett's battled this year. He's had some really good games.
That pass is incomplete.
He's used his legs really well, so you have him coming back next year. You obviously have the rest of the season as well, but we won't be broadcasting again, so we can kind of tell you what North is bringing back next year, which is Jack Fennell, the best player on offense, you could say. And you have quarterback Jason Sickett coming back, which is definitely a positive. He's had a good year as well. It'll only get better.
Northgate, who I mentioned earlier, was the first team Coach O'Shea worked for in high school football. That punt There's a whistle as that punt is blown dead. There was a flag. But that's where Coach O'Shea started his high school coaching career at Northgate under John Haddad, who is here tonight to watch this game, and which could be Coach O'Shea's final home game here with North Catholic, as he, at the beginning of the year, told his team that he would be retiring at the end of this year.
Penalty is on North Catholic. Is it? Yeah.
It is on North. But Northgate lost tonight 46-20 to Union. Elizabeth Ford, who is a classification opponent of Avonworth, won tonight over South Allegheny.
Fumble on the punt. It is kicked, and it's actually a really nice punt.
It was a good punt. Jack Fennell wrapped up for no gain on the return. How many Avonworth guys are on him? There's at least 5 right there.
They're still amped up.
But look for Avonworth and Elizabeth Ford to find themselves somewhere this year in the playoffs in 3A, as Elizabeth Ford is now 8-0 with that win over South Allegheny, 49-7. South Allegheny and Greensburg-Salem both have 0 wins in that section. Avonworth is going to come out of this game 7-1. Freeport's been good this year too. We don't have this final score for that one. Thomas Jefferson won tonight, and that's a 4A school.
Dante Tabaki gets his, I believe that's his first carry of the
his
year.
first carry all year. But Thomas Jefferson won tonight 42-0 over Ringgold.
And that is the last play of the game.
And that will do it in this one. 37-7 is your final here on senior night at J.C. Stone Field. And Ryan, this is basically our closing thoughts on the year. So based on what we've seen this year, we've been to just about every game except the Armstrong game. I think we've been to every game besides the Armstrong game this year. Your overarching thoughts on the Trojans' first season up here at 4A?
Well, it's obviously been an inconsistent year. They've been good mostly on defensively. This tonight was a real outlier of the year defensively. We've seen some good games. Started off good with Sarah Catholic, a nice 37-14 win. Then you face Shady Side, 21-10 win. You lost to Alcliffe, but you played good defensively against a really powerful offense, held them 26 points. Then you lost to Highlands, and the offense was back-to-back weeks, which was just really stagnant. The defense held strong in that game as well. Then you beat Kiski, get back on the right track. You traveled to Armstrong. The offense actually played good in the second half. It was 7-0 at halftime, but then the defense let up a lot in the second half, and the final score was 35-19 in that one. And you get a big win last week against Hampton, which really gives you a good chance of making the playoffs, 13-7. And then tonight you play Avonworth, an out-of-conference game, and it wasn't the Trojans' night as they lost 37-7, just got dominated by the Lopes. And I think inconsistency is one of the key words for the Trojans this year, because they've looked good at times, especially on defense. Tonight was just a bad night for them.
It was, and this is in no way should be considered a eulogy for the North Catholic season. This is much more of a
wake-up call, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully a wake-up call for the rest of the year. Yeah. As this North team in their first year in 4A has put together a stellar, and we just talked about section games, Ryan, a stellar section and conference performance. And you still got 2 more games left. Playoffs could be in the future here for North Catholic. But we'll have to wait and see. Indiana next week, Mars the following week on the 28th. It will be a great way to visit back where North Catholic has played most of their home games in previous years. What's going to be a intense atmosphere in 2 weeks at Mars, which could decide who makes it between those two teams.
That could come down to be a huge game. But the Trojans, hopefully, Jason Sickett, starting quarterback, should be back next week. We'll have to wait and see.
And you want to look at a guy right there that has the power to change things. Coach O'Shea has all the experience right there, and he's going to lead his team through this loss and into next week's game against Indiana. And this will do it for our final broadcast of the year for football on the North Catholic Sports Network. It has been myself and my partner Ryan Berry's honor and privilege to be able to broadcast you this games this year as Mr. Malone, Sean Malone, has been kind enough to do our stat recaps, which has added so much to each broadcast that he's been able to be a part of. We took over for him and Darren Lyles, who did them the previous 2 years, and it has been our pleasure to hopefully fill those seats in any way that we can. Never can be filled, never can be replaced, but hopefully we did a good job, and we hopefully enjoy these broadcasts. But who always does a good job is our crew. Noah McFadden, Patrick Sharp, Callie Martis, our phenomenal executive producer, Mr. Jonathan Hoffman, who we could not do anything without, made this show run, and we appreciate all of them. And we appreciate you, the listener, for watching each game that we've done. And until next time, the Trojans will play hockey on the this Tuesday the 18th. We'll be there for that game. And until then, North Catholic Trojans lost this game tonight, senior night, 37-7.